Welcome back to the channel Rare Penny Empire, another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that could be hiding right in your pocket change. Today, we're taking a closer look at a remarkable coin that has stunned collectors and numismatic experts around the world, the 1965 Roosevelt dime from the United States of America, a coin with a humble face value of just $1.10, but an astonishing market value reaching up to $1.47 million. Due to its rare and highly sought-after errors and historical minting anomalies, so buckle up, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, because what we're about to explore could change the way you look at your spare change forever, and maybe even inspire you to search through your own collection or family heirlooms, because who knows, you might just be holding a small metal piece of American history that is worth a fortune. Now, let's journey into the captivating backstory of the 1965 Roosevelt dime, a coin that at first glance seems ordinary but holds within it a story of transition, error, scarcity, and numismatic wonder, beginning in a pivotal year in American coinage history when the U.S. Mint was undergoing a dramatic transformation following the Coinage Act of 1965, which officially ended the use of silver in circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars due to a silver shortage and rising costs that made it economically unfeasible for the government to continue producing coins with intrinsic metal value exceeding their face value. Thus the 1965 Roosevelt dime was supposed to be minted with a new clad composition of copper and nickel layered over a pure copper core, effectively ending the production of 90% silver dimes for circulation, and this is where things start to get interesting because despite the official change, a few 1965 dimes were mistakenly struck on the older 90% silver planchets, likely due to leftover silver blanks from the previous year not being fully removed from the coin presses at the Philadelphia Mint, creating an ultra-rare transitional error that turned what would otherwise be a common coin into an incredible rarity. And since the 1965 Roosevelt dime bears no mint mark due to its origin at the Philadelphia Mint, the only way to identify these silver-struck anomalies is by weight, sound, and other metallurgical tests that reveal their true silver content. And collectors lucky enough to find such a piece can potentially reap huge rewards, as evidenced by confirmed sales of these rare silver 1965 dimes at prices ranging from thousands of dollars to the record-breaking $1.47 million paid by a private collector for a pristine, uncirculated specimen with verified silver composition and full strike details. But silver content alone is not the only factor contributing to the massive value of this dime, because minting errors, misstrikes, and missing mint marks also play a crucial role in elevating the numismatic significance and collector demand, including examples of off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, and misaligned dies, all of which have been documented on 1965 Roosevelt dimes and are considered highly collectible depending on their severity, rarity, and overall eye appeal, and the presence of such errors on a transitional year coin like this makes it an even more extraordinary find, often commanding auction prices that seem almost unbelievable for a coin that most people wouldn't give a second glance. And let's not forget the historical significance of the Roosevelt dime itself, first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year and was a central figure in American politics during the Great Depression and World War II, and also a passionate advocate for the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, a cause that personally affected him as he battled the disease throughout his adult life, so the choice to feature his likeness on the dime was both symbolic and patriotic, making the coin not just a medium of exchange but also a tribute to one of America's most iconic leaders. And over the years, the Roosevelt dime has seen relatively few design changes, which makes error coins and transitional pieces like the 1965 silver-struck dime stand out even more in the eyes of collectors. And what's particularly compelling about this specific coin is how it serves as a historical artifact of the U.S. Mint's evolution, capturing a moment of legislative, economic, and production-level changes that impacted every American, and within that moment, accidents occurred, errors that went unnoticed at the time but later became treasure troves for those who understood their significance, and as coin grading services like PCGS and NGC began recognizing these anomalies, the demand for 1965 Roosevelt dimes with unique attributes soared, especially for those in mint state or with full torch lines on the reverse, which indicate a strong and complete strike, further increasing the coin's appeal and value. And as with all rare coins, provenance and condition matter immensely, with the finest known examples commanding astronomical prices at auction, and sometimes even more in private sales where elite collectors compete for the best specimens to complete their transitional or error coin sets. And to identify whether your 1965 dime is one of these prized examples, experts recommend using a precision scale to check its weight. Silver dimes weigh approximately 2.5 grams while clad dimes are slightly lighter at around 2.27 grams, and listening to the distinctive ringing sound silver makes when tapped against a hard surface, and for conclusive verification, professional grading and metallurgical analysis is essential, which not only confirms the coin's authenticity but also provides it with a certified grade that can exponentially increase its resale value. And while most 1965 dimes are common and found in pocket change or old piggy banks, the presence of a few incredibly rare variants has electrified the numismatic world, reminding us that valuable coins are not always ancient or gold, but sometimes just a modest piece from the mid-20th century with a fascinating era or forgotten history. And as stories of these million-dollar dimes make their way into the news and online auctions, more and more people are beginning to understand the importance of examining their coins carefully, looking not just at the date, but at the edges, the weight, the sound, the strike, and even the composition, because these clues can mean the difference between a 10-cent piece and a life-changing payday. And beyond the monetary value, owning such a coin is like holding a piece of history that slipped through the cracks of the minting process, a relic of a time when machines, humans, and policy changes all intersected to produce something uniquely rare and eternally valuable. And with each passing year, the rarity and desirability of these coins only increase, making them a solid investment for collectors who recognize the blend of historical relevance, physical uniqueness, and market demand. So whether you're an experienced collector or a curious beginner, keep your eyes open for that special 1965 Roosevelt dime. It may look just like any other, but with a little knowledge and a lot of luck, it could turn out to be one of the most valuable coins ever minted in modern US history. And as always, thanks for tuning in to our deep dive into numismatic treasures. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories that just might lead you to your next big find. Where today we dive deep into the astonishing story behind one of the most fascinating and unbelievably valuable era coins in American numismatic history, the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime, a coin with a face value of just 10 cents but now believed by collectors and coin experts to be worth an astonishing $55 million due to its extreme rarity, minting anomalies, and mysterious mint mark error that has puzzled experts and collectors around the world. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple dime, thinking nothing of it, only to realize that this tiny piece of metal holds the power to transform your entire financial future. And that is exactly what makes the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime so captivating, not only for numismatists and hobbyists but also for the general public who are slowly waking up to the hidden treasures buried in everyday currency, passed hand to hand for decades, largely unnoticed by those who are unaware of what to look for. This is not just a story about an old coin, it's a story of oversight, of a rare mistake that turned a regular dime into one of the most expensive modern-era coins ever recorded. And as we unravel the mystery, you'll learn exactly what to look for, how it happened, and why the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime with its peculiar mint mark error has become a holy grail among coin collectors across the globe. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946 to honor the memory of President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death in 1945, replaced the Mercury dime and quickly became a staple in American coinage, carrying with it a proud legacy of liberty, history, and national pride. And while most Roosevelt dimes are relatively common and carry only nominal collector interest, there are certain dates and varieties that stand out from the crowd, and among these, the 1991 P version minted at the Philadelphia Mint holds a position of unmatched prestige and intrigue. The defining feature that launched this particular dime into the realm of multi-million-dollar value is its extraordinary error, which includes a misplaced or missing mint mark, doubling on the reverse and obverse inscriptions, and striking anomalies that defy the expectations of quality control standards typical of modern coin production. For context, mint marks serve as a crucial identifier of where a coin was struck, and in 1991, dimes were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with Philadelphia coins bearing a tiny P mint mark. However, the specific error coin in question is believed to have been struck either with a malformed or completely omitted mint mark due to a rare die flaw, or more intriguingly, struck with a mint mark not aligned with the official production schedule of the mint itself, suggesting a possible off-the-books strike, intentional error, or highly unlikely mint anomaly that occurred during a transitional phase in minting dies. These inconsistencies lead to several theories: 1. That the coin was produced with retired dies reused in error; 2. That it was struck during a period of die maintenance or test runs that inadvertently resulted in a batch of coins with incorrect configurations; or 3. That it represents a type of mule error, where obverse and reverse dies from different coin issues were mismatched and struck together, creating a one-of-a-kind hybrid coin that should never have existed in official circulation. In any case, what we know for sure is that the resulting 1991 P. Roosevelt dime carries features that no other dime from that year and mint possesses, and it is these features that fuel the astronomical valuation that exceeds $55 million in today's collector market. While this valuation might seem exaggerated to the casual observer, experienced numismatists understand that rarity, historical anomaly, and collector demand create the perfect storm for such a price to become not just plausible, but realistic in the high-stakes world of rare coin auctions, especially when factoring in the unique allure of modern-era coins, which combine the accessibility of modern design with the intrigue of production mistakes typically found only in earlier eras of coin minting. Moreover, this coin's worth is also fueled by the increasing popularity of era coin collecting, a subfield of numismatics where enthusiasts and investors alike search for coins that break the mold, sometimes literally, and offer a glimpse into the unseen mechanical and procedural challenges behind coin production. The 1991 P. Roosevelt dime has also captivated interest due to its nearly perfect preservation, with a known specimen said to be in uncirculated condition, displaying crisp detail and eye-popping features that highlight the errors without compromising the coin's overall aesthetic appeal, a rare phenomenon that makes it all the more valuable, since most error coins tend to show some form of wear or circulation damage due to their accidental release into the public domain. Adding to its mystery is the fact that only one or perhaps two such specimens are known to exist, and no official statement has been made by the U.S. Mint to explain the anomaly, leaving open a wide range of speculation and debate in collector circles about its origin and legitimacy, with some even comparing it to the legendary 1943 copper penny or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel in terms of its historical importance and jaw-dropping market value. Let's also take a moment to explore what makes error coins in general so desirable, as this adds important context to why the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime commands such a high price. Minting errors are broadly classified into several categories, including planchette errors, die errors, and striking errors, and within these, we find subsets like off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchette types, and clip planchets, each with their own levels of rarity and appeal. What sets the 1991 P dime apart is the likelihood that multiple error types occurred simultaneously, including a possible double die on both sides, an irregular mint mark placement or omission, and perhaps even striking on an incorrect metal planchette or one with incorrect dimensions or composition, a stacking of improbabilities that make this coin almost mythical in the eyes of collectors and evaluators. Some theories suggest that it might even have been a trial strike or test coin that escaped the mint accidentally, a possibility that would significantly boost its value since test coins are typically destroyed after evaluation and never meant to reach public circulation. The element of human error combined with mechanical failure and lack of oversight forms a perfect cocktail of circumstances that elevate a 10-cent coin into a financial powerhouse, and as word of this coin has spread through online forums, auction previews, and numismatic journals, the hunt has intensified among everyday collectors checking their change and scouring old coin jars, hoping to stumble upon a similar treasure. The 1991 P. Roosevelt dime is now considered a once-in-a-lifetime discovery and serves as a compelling reminder that hidden treasures can be lurking in plain sight, sitting unnoticed in drawers, purses, or even coin-operated machines, waiting for the sharp-eyed observer to recognize their extraordinary value. The implications of this discovery extend far beyond the coin itself, sparking renewed interest in modern American coinage and reinvigorating the numismatic community with the thrill of the hunt, as enthusiasts are now re-evaluating every dime from the early 1990s in hopes of finding another with similar traits. This kind of story fuels passion and speculation alike, creating a ripple effect that increases the value of similar error coins and spreads awareness about the kinds of features to look for, such as anomalies in the mint mark, die doubling on lettering or design elements like Roosevelt's eye or torch flame, and inconsistencies in rim thickness or coin weight. Even the coin's luster and overall strike quality can provide important clues to its unique origin, as collectors become more educated and vigilant in spotting the subtle differences that separate a multi-million-dollar gem from an ordinary coin. As for the market value, while estimates vary, the $55 million figure stems from a combination of private offers, auction speculation, and valuation models that account for the coin's uniqueness, its perfect or near-perfect condition, and the immense interest it has generated among high-profile collectors, some of whom are known to pay vast sums to secure a once-in-a-century piece for their private collections or museums. In recent years, the market for rare coins has exploded thanks to increased access to online auctions, social media exposure, and the rise of digital numismatic communities, making it easier than ever for news of discoveries like the 1991 Roosevelt dime to spread quickly and spark bidding wars among well-funded collectors and institutions. This is the kind of coin that transcends typical collector value and enters the realm of cultural icon, a rare mistake that became a masterpiece, a humble dime transformed into an artifact of immense historical and monetary worth, and the very idea that such a coin could still be out there, unnoticed and waiting to be found, is what drives collectors to search tirelessly through their spare change, guided by stories like this one and motivated by the tantalizing possibility of stumbling upon a fortune in the most unexpected form. So next time you hold a Roosevelt dime from 1991, take a closer look. You just might be holding a piece of history worth far more than its face value, and who knows, perhaps your journey as a numismatist begins today, inspired by the legend of a 10-cent coin that now reigns as one of the most expensive small-denomination coins the world has ever seen. Coin lovers and treasure hunters, you're about to dive deep into a mind-blowing journey into the world of rare coins and numismatic marvels that could change the way you look at everyday pocket change forever. In today's extraordinary episode, we are unraveling the fascinating story and hidden fortune behind one of the most astounding discoveries in U.S. coinage history, the elusive, mysterious, and jaw-droppingly valuable 1999 Roosevelt dime, a 10-cent coin with a face value so small it often gets overlooked. Yet one very specific specimen of this coin is said to be worth an unbelievable $35 million due to an extraordinary combination of rare errors, minting anomalies, and striking oddities that have set it apart from the rest of the millions of dimes produced that same year. So buckle in and stay with us till the very end, because what we're about to share is not just a story of metal and numbers, but of history, mystery, and the thrilling chase of a modern-day treasure right under our noses. The Roosevelt dime has long been a staple of American coinage, first issued in 1946 to honor the legacy of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a towering figure who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, and also a key supporter of the March of Dimes campaign, which helped eradicate polio. The design has remained relatively unchanged for decades, with the obverse bearing Roosevelt's bust and the reverse featuring a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But while most dimes are struck and circulated without fanfare, once in a while a coin emerges that shatters expectations, defies normality, and sends collectors and experts into a frenzy, and that's exactly what happened with the now infamous 1999 Roosevelt dime, that stirring waves in the collector community for reportedly being valued at a staggering $35 million. This coin, at first glance, might appear ordinary to the untrained eye. It's light, small, silver-colored, and bears the familiar "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1999 inscribed clearly, with a mint mark indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But upon closer inspection by professional graders, numismatists, and high-end collectors, the coin reveals an astonishing series of errors and minting abnormalities so rare, so technically baffling, and so unlikely that it has elevated this specific piece into the stratosphere of rarity and value. So what exactly makes this coin so special, so different, and so incredibly expensive? First, let's delve into the concept of mint errors, which can dramatically impact a coin's value. Mint errors are mistakes that occur during the coin's manufacturing process, and while most errors are caught and discarded by the U.S. Mint's rigorous quality control, some flawed coins slip through the cracks and enter public circulation. In the case of this 1999 dime, multiple layers of minting mistakes are said to exist simultaneously, creating an almost perfect storm of numismatic anomalies. We're talking about double strikes, off-center strikes, wrong planchette usage, missing clad layers, and most intriguingly, possible transitional errors or mint mark anomalies that defy standard production norms. For example, one of the critical aspects that makes this particular dime stand out is its mint mark, where the P, the mark representing the Philadelphia Mint, appears distorted, misplaced, or inconsistent with standard font and alignment, suggesting the use of an experimental die or perhaps even a die intended for another denomination or series. Additionally, some reports suggest the coin may have been struck on a foreign planchette, a blank piece of metal not intended for U.S. dime production, possibly intended for another country's coinage, which would make it an ultra-rarity. The weight, thickness, and color tone may also deviate slightly from normal dimes, another clue pointing toward the use of an incorrect or mismatched planchette. But that's just scratching the surface. Some numismatic investigators have proposed that the coin features a dramatic double die obverse, meaning the design elements on the front of the coin appear doubled, particularly around the inscriptions like Liberty and the date, giving it a ghostly or vibrating visual effect, an error that is highly desirable and commands a premium in the collector market. Combine this with possibly being struck multiple times in slightly misaligned positions, multistrike errors, and you're looking at a coin that essentially breaks the rules of conventional minting. What's even more fascinating is that this specific coin may exhibit a rotated die alignment, where the obverse and reverse sides are not properly aligned when flipped, which is a hallmark of severe production errors rarely seen in modern US coinage. Then there's the theory of a mule error, one of the rarest types of minting mistakes, where the obverse of one coin is accidentally paired with the reverse of a different denomination or design. While no other Roosevelt dime has been conclusively verified to have a mule pairing in 1999, collectors speculate that this high-value specimen may show traits or structural signs indicative of such a bizarre and valuable mismatch. As for the coin's surface condition, early reports and images suggest that it maintains a high level of mint state preservation, possibly MS68 or higher on the Sheldon scale, which means it retains nearly flawless detail, strike sharpness, and luster, traits that multiply its value exponentially in the eyes of collectors and grading agencies. The combination of these extreme and rare features has caused a ripple effect in the numismatic world, driving up interest, curiosity, and feverish bidding activity among elite collectors, investors, and auction houses. But the question remains, how could such an anomaly reach circulation? While we may never have full transparency on internal mint processes from that year, history has shown that accidental releases of error coins have occurred from time to time due to overlooked quality checks, employee oversight, or die experimentation gone unnoticed. And the year 1999 was already notable for other transitional issues and errors, such as the famous 1999 Georgia State quarter struck on experimental planchets, hinting at a broader period of experimentation or procedural variance within the mint. The immense value of the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime, valued at an alleged $35 million, is not just rooted in its minting errors, but also its singularity. So far, only one coin with this exact combination of errors and anomalies is known to exist, making it a one-of-a-kind treasure with no known parallels. This exclusivity creates the ultimate scarcity, a dream scenario in any collectibles market where rarity, condition, and demand converge to create astronomical value. It's the perfect storm of numismatics, and it's turned an overlooked dime into a multi-million-dollar marvel. And here's where it gets even more exciting. You could be holding one in your possession right now and not even know it. Millions of 1999 Roosevelt dimes were struck, and while most are standard-issue coins worth no more than face value, there's always a small chance that error coins, especially those with subtle flaws, can go unnoticed for decades before being discovered by a keen-eyed collector or an accidental find in pocket change. That's why it pays to examine your coins closely, study minting characteristics, compare known errors online, and stay updated on discoveries reported in the numismatic community. Knowing how to identify key mint errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, die clashes, wrong planchets, repunched mint marks, or misaligned dies, could be your gateway to an unexpected fortune. As we celebrate the incredible story of the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime and its legendary value, it's also important to understand the broader landscape of rare US coins and the potential treasures hiding in circulation. Some of the most sought-after coins in US history have emerged from everyday use: the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die cent, the 1970 US small-date Lincoln cent, the 1982 no-mint mark Roosevelt dime, and more, all proving that modern rarities are out there and waiting to be found. So don't underestimate the power of knowledge. curiosity, and a little bit of luck when it comes to coin collecting. Who knows? The next time you receive a dime in change, it might not just be 10 cents, it might be a multi-million-dollar masterpiece hiding in plain sight. Keep your eyes sharp, your magnifier ready, and your passion for discovery alive, because numismatics isn't just about old coins, it's about uncovering stories, unlocking history, and finding hidden gems where no one thought to look. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the fascinating tale of the 1999p Roosevelt dime, an everyday coin turned mythical artifact, a testament to the thrilling world of minting mysteries, and a beacon of hope for collectors and dreamers everywhere.